What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of GeezerCast. Today we have a special guest, Blackz Gunz. What's up, dog?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing, man? Yeah, my name's D'Artagnan. I run the organization, Allied Gun Owners Association, and also run the YouTube channel, the Instagram channel, whatever else you want to call it. But Blackz Gunz is BLACKZ and then GUNZ.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the Allied Gun Owner Association. How'd you come up with that?
So I came up with it because pretty much with all the stuff going on, you know, people are kind of ignorant nowadays on gun rights and gun laws, reasons why we have guns. And then you got some people that do own guns, but have like little to no training. You know what I mean? Just having a gun just to be having it. And I came up with the idea of, you know, the best thing you can do is have a strong community. Not only if it's like something with government or if it's something within the community itself, policing, state-wise, anything like that. I came up with the idea that if we have a community of armed, well-trained, you know, intelligent people, that we won't have as many crimes and mass shootings like they say on, you know, mainstream media, and we'll have more of a prepared society than these people that run off of emotions, really. Like, you know, they see everything that go on the news and they pay attention to that, you know, the right wing and some kinds of left wing stuff they pay attention to, and they kind of get brainwashed on, you know, guns are bad and guns are the problem. We're living in an epidemic of guns, and it's not the problem of guns, and that's all it takes is for us to get a community to understand that it's not guns that's the problem. You know, it's mental illness. It's all kind of different factors that come into play when, you know, life comes into play, pretty much. So I created Allied Gun Owners Association to grab the attention of more people, to come together, create a community where we have people that can sustain for food, sustain, you know, medical, their own self-defense, you know, where we don't have to rely on the government. You know, self-reliance is pretty much why I started Allied Gun Owners Association.
Okay, I like it. And we definitely need more of that, for real.
Definitely.
I have a little bit of experience with guns, but I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't deal with them all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I know a little bit more than some people.
Than the average, right.
Right. And I definitely think it's important.
It's civilian training, man. You know, you don't have to do it all the time. It doesn't have to be a full-time job, but if you go a whole years long without, you know, some kind of training, shooting a gun is not just shooting a gun when it comes down to protecting your life, you know, and being able to protect your life is a perishable skill. You know, it's just another skill that you need to have being a human, you know.
I agree. Fuck with that. So tell us a little bit more about how you started Blackz Gunz, the YouTube channel. Like, how'd you start that? Where'd you come up with the name Blackz Gunz or Blackz Gunz?
So I am very pro-Black. You know, I'm for our people being able to, you know, man, I'm very pro-Black, man. And I feel like, you know, a lot more of our people are waking up. I will say that with everything that's been going on with the news and stuff, and, you know, BLM, NFAC, you know, I don't condone certain violences or certain acts that they do, but you know what I mean? Everyone's got their own mission objective. But I looked at it as, you know, I wanted to create my own image for people to, you know, connect with. You know, I'm just another regular everyday citizen, you know, law abiding, got a family, you know, job and all that kind of stuff to protect, you know. And I felt like there should be more people of our, you know, melanin tone and minorities that, you know, obviously don't even know that you can carry guns. Like, I'm from California, where you virtually can't even carry a gun outside your house. Damn near you can't even have it in your house when you need it. You know what I'm saying? And then moving to a place like Kentucky, man, it was like the big difference. Yeah. Like, I seen the bad side of it and the good side of it, as in I started seeing more of my people carrying. But I started seeing a lot of sloppy carrying, you know, looked ignorant kind of carrying, if that makes sense to you, you know, and I wanted to be at least somewhat of an idol for people to train, people to become self-reliant, to not depend on the government, not depend and waiting for a police officer or a paramedic to come and save you. You know, everyone is their own first responder. Everyone. You're there when the crime happens. The police are crime responders, not crime preventers. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I wanted to take it in my own hand to at least enlighten a few people, at least if one mind I at least change. That's, you know, that's my job. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. So how would you say that you got into using firearms? Did you get into it just because you was, you know, younger, you had some family members, or is it because of what has happened in
life experiences, and because of what's happened? I guess it all plays a part into it. But what really plays a part is the mindset, man. Once you've gone through certain things, you know, if you ever been through a traumatic experience or something like that really woke you up to the realization that, you know, evil exists. You don't have to be somebody that goes and does ignorant shit. You don't have to be a criminal for criminal shit to come at you. You know what I'm saying? You can be walking your dog or walking at the park with your child or something, and evil exists. There can be, you know, someone that just be like, oh, look at him right there. I'm gonna kill him, you know? And they talk about all these mass shootings and stuff that go on. You know, what's gonna prevent that is more armed, trained people, more citizens that are, you know, with the mindset of surviving, you know what I mean? Not being sheep, you know?
I feel that. I totally agree, actually. I feel like a lot more people should carry. But like you said, they need to be trained, man. You got to have some type of training. You can't just be out here just with it. You're a danger to yourself at that point.
And, right. Definitely a danger to yourself and everybody around you. But at the same time, you know, because I'm not for like how government in certain places try to restrict you on carrying, like you have to have some kind of training, certain hours of training and blah, blah, blah. That's a rich man's game, bro. And most of our people are the ones in, you know, middle to lower class. What the gun control community aims for, you know, is to keep guns and stuff out of our people's hands, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that, yes, you should have some kind of training before you get to buy a firearm, because I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in the Second Amendment full on through. Like, just because you don't have a license to carry, doesn't mean that I should say you get the right to carry a gun or not. You still have the right. You should be able to still have the right to protect yourself and your family with or without a government license or permission, you know?
Right. Yeah, I feel it.
But nothing is more valuable than training. You know what I'm saying? So if you do want to carry a gun and you do buy a gun, don't spend $1,000 on a gun and then, you know, $1,000 on this, that, and the third accessory. More like, you know, start off with a budget firearm, you know, get a $600-700 firearm, get $600-700 worth of ammo, and then spend $1,000 on training. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like it.
Go get the classes, you know, go get the actual, the training that'll train your mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, bro. For real.
Definitely.
Because like you said, budget firearm, it could be what, 300, 500, and some that's actually going to help you, could save your life, get the training for it. You know what I'm saying? It's knowledge, bro.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure we both agree on that. It's important to learn how to use a firearm. What do you think about like whole families learning? And with that being said, what's the youngest age you think?
The more the better, man. If, you know, I'd rather, 2 shooters is better than 1. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't want to be the only shooter in my family that if we just so happen to have to defend our house or our land or you know, our freedom, you know, our country, our land, anything of that. I want as many of my personal protective shooters. I want my you know, wife or my brother or my sister or my mom. I want them all to be capable of defending themselves, you know, because ain't nobody invincible. You know, you can be the greatest of shooters on the planet and still get hit in the middle of that gunfight, and you were your family's protector. You know what I'm saying? So if you just left them vulnerable now that you're gone, how are they going to protect themselves? You know, you got to think about further plans. You know, it's called redundancy, planning on top of planning on top of planning, a backup plan on top of backup plan, you know, and having more of your family trained and prepared, that's pretty much another form of redundancy.
Right.
And me personally, a lot of people don't, you know, agree with this, or a lot of people do agree with it, but I feel like from the age that you personally feel that your specific child is mature enough to understand and respect the realization of a firearm is when you start them. So meaning your son or your daughter can be 7 years old and still not ready to be, you know, taught on firearms, you know, but another person's child might be ready at 4 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To start, you know, enlighten them on the realization of a firearm, the danger of a firearm. You know what I mean? So it just, that comes down to personal preference about, you know, who you are, how you feel about it, and how trained you are. You know what I'm saying? You can't be untrained and try to train your kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I like that, because not everybody matures the same way. You're right.
Exactly.
I totally agree with that.
Exactly.
I know some 20-year-olds that act 12.
man, don't we both, man?
For real, dog. Like, hey, nah, bro, you don't need no gun.
Okay, you don't need no gun, man.
So, like we was talking about defending your home, what's the best firearm that you use in that type of situation when you're trying to protect your home and your family? And with that, what type of advice would you give on how to protect them if a situation happened at home?
The closest firearm to you. Straight up, as simple as I can put it, man, the closest firearm to you is the best firearm to you. You know, in reality, the best tool around you is the best, you know, weapon for that situation. Doesn't matter. But if you do have a choice, you know, and there goes that bump in the night, and you got a handgun on the dresser, and you got, you know, an AR-15 sitting up against the wall, which one would you choose? One's got, you know, more velocity, one's got more capacity, but, you know, there's pros and cons on everything. You can't maneuver, you know, you lose maneuverability when you know, gain that velocity and that capacity because it's a bigger firearm. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it comes down to training. Are you trained? Have you trained on moving out throughout your house? Have you trained on obstacles in your house? Like, meaning I can use any firearm in my house, you know, but depending on the situation, depending on the time, every situation is different. And, you know, in the middle of that kind of situation, you got to buy yourself time. And if you buy yourself time, you buy yourself options. You might have a 2-story house and you might be sleeping upstairs, or a person that sleeps in a 1-bedroom house on a 1, you know, floor level and doesn't have this much luxury of time of that criminal coming into their house, and they got the option of what to do upstairs versus downstairs, if that makes sense to you.
Right.
So any firearm pretty much, but me personally, I would grab my rifle, my AR-15, because it has the most, you know, velocity behind it. It has the most capacity behind it. And I usually keep a light mounted on, and that's one thing I was going to say about this. One advice: any firearm that you have in your house, have a flashlight on it. Any firearm you carry on you outside of the house, have a flashlight on it. You don't want to be trying to wing off random shots in the pitch black house and accidentally hit the wrong person. You know what I mean? And that's also where training comes in. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's pretty much that. Any firearm, that's the closest one to you. But if you have a choice, if I have a choice, I'm going to grab my rifle because it's accurate. I know how to maneuver with it. It has, you know, everything that I believe I would need on it in the middle of that kind of situation. Has the amount of ammo I need, et cetera, et cetera. It's a force multiplier, you know?
Right. How do you feel about shotguns in the house?
I'm not opposed to it. I used to have like 3 shotguns in the house, man. And me personally, I didn't get into training more with shotguns. I was always training with, you know, long guns like rifles and handguns and, you know, high powered pistols and stuff like that. The shotgun was really more of You know, last resort, if I need it, I got that to, you know, put my back up against the wall in the house. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
you know, really, that's more to me personally. My opinion is like a breech gun. You know what I mean? But if you want to use a shotgun for home defense, you know, that's your best option. You know, it depends on who is
Yeah.
it. You know, like I personally don't want to get shot by any kind of caliber. I don't care
Right.
what it is. You know what I'm saying? So having that, even if the only gun you have in your house is a shotgun, you good. You know what I'm saying? Get the training with train with it. Realize your house, scale out your house, walk through your house, figure out the weak points in your house, you know, and train.
All right, I feel it. I've always felt like shotguns was the best home defense, but just because, like, you know, I don't know, movies. You see the movies
In
every time
ways,
it's the
right?
old
In
dude.
ways, it is, and that's because, and like you said, movies and you know Hollywood then has painted a picture. Like I know you've heard the saying where people be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have this shotgun, and if a bad guy's in my house, all I got to do is rack the slide, and they're gonna go the other way." You
Mm,
know, well, you don't always know that. You don't know the intentions of the person that's in your house already unwanted. You know, you don't know if they're in there to rob the place. You don't know if he's in there to rape your wife and kids. You don't know if he's in there just to murder everybody. You don't know what's going through his head. So you wouldn't want to take the choice or the chance, I mean, of thinking that you're going to deter the situation by just racking your slide. You
right.
know what I'm saying? That can get you killed. And on a defensive perspective, why would you want to give away your position inside of your own house if the bad guy didn't know where you were? He
Right.
hears that, you know, that slide rack on the other side of the wall, and who's to say he doesn't just start shooting through the wall? You know, it comes a
Hey.
lot into gunfighting, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes a lot into gunfighting, man, and it comes down to training. It just comes down to training.
You know, with you saying that, I was about to say, you know, some people are smart, bro. Some people ain't gonna think that because they, you know, walls, you know, like what's this drywall?
Drywall,
Bullet's gonna go right through there.
right through it.
That's one. Two, how do you feel about maybe hollow tips so it'll help it not go through the wall as bad because
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
depending on where you at in your house, you don't want to shoot through the house. You know what I'm saying?
right. And that's the purpose of ammunition like that. That's the purpose of self-defense ammunition is to
Mm-hmm.
prevent, you know, over penetration. You
Mm-hmm.
know, these full metal jackets, hold on, let me see if I have one with me right now. The full metal jacket ballpoint ammo, regular ass standard ammo is usually typically created to, you know, barrel through shit. It's not like a hollow point where, okay, this is a little extreme or a comparison, but
Yeah.
okay, let me see. Get this other mag real quick. One. There we go. All right. So there's a little difference of an extreme comparison, but this round right here, it's a standard full metal jacket, 5.56 by 45 caliber. Oh, round. So being it that's a round tip, that's going to go through the drywall. It's built to keep going. It's not built to stop. You know what I'm saying? Versus this is a red tip hollow point. It's I think it's what the fuck was it? A heavy duty. I have a video on it if y'all want to check that out on my YouTube. But this
Black
is
Guns.
it's a hollow point. This is a red tip hollow point, which this right here is just created to go through fabric and denim, so the hollow point can actually get into the person and expand. Blah blah blah. Go into a different video. But if this hits you, it's created to dump its energy and expand and to spread out so that it can stop inside of its intended target. Versus if you were shooting this, it's meant to go through. So you want to worry about your backstop. You don't want to shoot through the bad guy and accidentally shooting a 90-year-old woman behind him. You know what I'm saying? You want the bullet to stop at what's your intended target. You know, so if you're shooting inside of your house, virtually any bullet's gonna go through drywall, regardless if it's a hollow point, blah blah blah, anything. But
Right.
self-defense, you know, on the self-defense aspect, you want the one that's going to stop in the intended target, not the one that's going to keep going through, such as like these rounds. These are green tip steel penetration rounds. These are actually the standard. It's a M85. It's the standard military round that, you know, it's created to penetrate through armor, you know, so it's got like a steel rod in it, expands and it pushes through, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole nother category, man. But yeah, versus hollow points and ballpoint ammo, you would really want hollow points, you know, to stop. You don't want it to go through the person hitting something you don't want it to hit. You know what I mean?
I feel it. Shit, we having a whole class today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Whoever gonna watch the video, they having a little class, but
we can do this every Sunday at 2:00.
So how do you feel about, like, what's your favorite firearm to carry when you're out? Like when you're out walking around, what do you carry on your side?
Well, I usually carry my Glock 19, and right now I've been carrying my Glock 21, but it's a bit big. And for me to recommend for someone, a compact or a subcompact firearm is ideal for everyday carry, concealed carry, because the idea of concealed carry is to hide the gun. You know, yeah, you're never gonna get rid of print, meaning if I can show you this well, you're never gonna get rid of like all the way printing, meaning a little bit of the guns poking out or something like that. But your main goal is to camouflage the gun, you know, hide the gun from you carrying it. And then actually still having it on you. You can still have the firearm on you. And that's why you might want to have a compact or subcompact. Biggest thing, you want to get a flashlight, some better sights, you know. But I carry personally my Glock 21 right now. It's 45 ACP. Yes, and it's the full size. So it is big. I hate carrying it, but I can carry it. You know what I'm saying? I know how to still conceal carry it, being a full size firearm. But to recommend people, try to get something with smaller dimensions, you know, Glock 43, Glock 43X, Glock 26, Glock 30, SIG P365. There's, you know, Kel-Tex, all kind of different stuff, man, you know, that you can just go to the range, fill them out, see which one fits your hand good, which one would you want to carry every day. If you're going to carry a gun, you got to think about it. It's going to add weight. Do you want to carry that weight? How will you carry that weight? You know, how will you manage carrying that weight? Right. You know?
When I was looking for my first gun, everybody told me, because, you know, I would ask people, like, what do you recommend? You feel me? They always told me whatever feels good in your hand, whatever feels good to you. Don't ever go off of what just someone said.
Right. I totally just because I tell you the Glock 19 is a great weapon to conceal carry every day, that might not be the great weapon for you. You know, a CZ might be the most perfect weapon for you to carry. But to me, I don't like CZs. I don't like the grip on the CZ, you know, but that comes down to personal preference. Do you like it? If you like it, if you want to carry it, can you put your life into that gun's hand? You know what I'm saying? Can you depend your life to be protected by that gun?
So what's some advice that you would give to people who are, you know, carrying their firearm with them? What's some advice on if something just happened to just happen, something just break out? What's some advice on how to protect you or your family that's with you?
Best advice I can give you is have the mindset. Even if you train, even if you have the gun, even if you're a great shooter, a great shot, comfortable, and, you know, you've been carrying for years, you have to have the mindset. And I'm actually do a video on this on my YouTube pretty soon. Okay. Being able to flip that switch. If you're not able to go from that happy, humble of life, you know, father at that moment, you know what I'm saying, to that most dangerous protector in the room, the most, you know, violent, aggressive protector that you can be, you know, you'll just be another casualty, you know, because if you freeze up in that moment, or, you know, that training goes out the window because you get scared, or you get that fight or flight situation come up and flight is what you're thinking about, you haven't trained your mind to know that, like, if this situation comes, I've spiritually, you know, came to conclusions of knowing, like, if I have to use my firearm, how I'm gonna use my firearm, why I'm gonna use my firearm, you know what I'm saying? And if you haven't trained to No, like you can go from haha to I'll kill you in a split fucking second. You know what I'm saying? Because that split fucking second can be that second that you don't make it. You know what I mean? That decision making. And the best advice I can give to anyone who carries a gun is train your mindset to understand that that gun is not a fucking toy. That gun is created to protect life by destroying life. Simple as that. You know what I mean?
I understand. Yeah, I feel that. I like it. Because that is what it is.
Yeah, it
Literally,
really
it
is.
is what it is, bro.
You're not shooting at a paper target, or you're not shooting at a steel target no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can sit thousands and thousands of hours at that range, man, and be shooting at these paper targets, thinking you're once that time comes, you're good. But when that time comes, if you don't have the mindset to switch, that's a human on the other side of that gun. Now that's a person you're shooting at or about to shoot. You know, that's not a target, a paper target no more, a steel target. That's another human, and that's going to click in your head, and you don't want to have that moment in the middle of the moment hesitate, and boom, you die. Your family dies. Now everyone else is dead.
For real. So how do you feel about like you said, in that moment, can you switch or you can't freeze? Do you think maybe that's like a just a personality thing? No matter how hard you train, like you said, do you think some people, it might not be their type of, you feel me? Like they gonna freeze. Some people ain't gonna freeze.
Yeah, and that's the reality of life, man. That's just the reality of it. You know, you could train, and maybe that moment comes and, you freeze up, but it just, like you said, it comes down to the personality of the person. And you can train your personality, you know what I mean? You can train yourself to understand the other side of human instinct, you know what I mean? Survival instinct, because there's plenty of examples that can be shown of ordinary people you would never think, kill to survive. You know what I mean? Then you got those people that have probably killed in war and probably have, been through some shit, and they hesitate that one time. You know what I'm saying? So it really just comes down to, like you said, personality, but it comes down to training your mindset to being able to do that. Because the reality of it is you can have that personality or you cannot have that personality. But in that moment, if you don't have that personality, you only have one result.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd just rather not be that guy that
day. For real.
Yeah.
So what's a few gun laws that you think that are real important for a few gun owners who might not know a lot about gun laws?
There's a lot of those on the books, man. And yeah, I wish we were all the way constitutional everywhere, like the U.S. Constitution does state. Shouldn't have any kind of infringement at all. And they've been chipping it away for years. Right now, with Biden being in office, it's the biggest fight we're about to be having for this next 4 years for our gun rights. And all laws pretty much differ through each state. You can go to Arizona and it's constitutional carry there, versus if you go to a place like Chicago, you have to have a FOIA card, or a place like, New York versus a place like Florida. You know what I'm saying? One place has stand your ground, the other place doesn't have stand your ground. It differs on every state. Whatever state you're in, read up your state statutes, read up your state's, private laws and jurisdictional laws. And you can, find pretty much everything on Google about what your state and your city specifically, allows in your state. Some places like California, you can't have more than 10 rounds magazines. If you're caught with it, you can get some damn good time.
Oh God.
Place like here, you can have 100 round mags, you can have 60 round mags, and there's no infringement on it. But it just comes down to your state. If you feel like you want to carry a gun, read your state's state laws. And until one day we have a really actual patriot president that wants to, go back on all these ATF movements and NFA movements. And that's actually a good one too, right there. Be wary of certain kind of weapons that you do build in your state too, because certain states have rules and shit like that to where you can't build certain firearms in your state. Or if you do, you'd have to register it under the NFA Act and all kind of different stuff, man. And we can talk about that for hours, you know, about what they're fucking, what they've done to our, you know, gun rights.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
So yeah, best advice is everyone read your specific state's laws. Don't go off of what I'm telling you about what this state does or what that state does. Go off your specific state and city ordinance.
Do your research, guys.
Yeah.
Your own motherfucking research.
Yeah. For you have the ATF knocking at your front door.
Hey, for real. You don't want that. That don't even sound good.
Yeah, they don't. You ever heard of Waco, Texas?
I heard of Waco, Texas.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let that one just simmer in the comment section.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. What happened to Waco, man?
The same ATF director, is now the new director of the ATF because of Biden, the guy that was responsible for the deaths of Waco and Waco's children, you know, is now about to is being appointed as the new head of the ATF. So that's another big fight that we all got to worry about, you know, for our gun rights. Because they're not just, you know, my gun rights, they're your gun rights, they're everybody, your family's gun rights, your kids. We want to pave the way for our children, you know what I'm saying, for them to be able to protect themselves. Okay.
And what are a few myths about guns that you learned that are not true?
That guns kill people.
Hey, I agree with that.
Biggest myth is that guns kill people, man. I've left my guns sitting around for ages, man, and they've never just jumped out of the room and just started shooting people. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
You know, biggest myths is, you know, people thinking, you know, you shouldn't carry a round in the chamber, or people saying there's so many different myths, man, about guns and gun owners that it's ridiculous. And until you become a full-on gun owner, not just a person owning a gun, you know, an actual law-abiding patriot that wants to teach it to their children and teach it to, you know, the generations to come. And, you know, the biggest myths is that, you know, we shouldn't have guns. That's the biggest myth about guns, is that we shouldn't have them. And don't let no government tell you not to, because look at all the other governments that's taken their guns from their citizens. And they try to say, oh, we have the worst gun crimes in the world right now, and we're topping the world and leading gun deaths and all that. And I'm just sitting here like, y'all must have never heard of fucking Mexico. Y'all must have never heard of Venezuela. Y'all must have never heard of fucking, you know, Brazil, places that aren't even supposed to have guns legally, and they have like genocides. And after, it's ridiculous, man, that the narrative that they're putting on guns on the national television, mainstream media, fake news, whatever you want to call it, the narrative that they're putting on guns is emotionally brainwashing the new generation, which the new generation is the future of our gun rights. You know, we are the present, but all we can do is pass the knowledge on. I mean, my little brother and sister are in high school right now, and they're not even being taught about the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? They're not even being taught about all rights and stuff. Right. Remember when we were in school, we were being taught about, you know, First Amendment, Second Amendment, at least the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments we were taught. Right. They're not even teaching that no more. And I don't know, maybe parents don't notice. Maybe they don't ask their kids about it. Maybe because they don't know about it. You know, there's so many people that don't know we have these rights.
Yeah, I ain't know that. They was teaching us that when we was in school.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Now they're not. And it's man, that gun control, man, I'm gonna just be real with everyone. I don't know, this might be a trigger word on YouTube, but gun control is nothing but people control. Seriously, gun control is nothing but people control. And just saying that could mess up the algorithm on this damn channel, or on this, you know, this interview itself, because that's the government for you. You know what I'm saying?
Good, bro, you good. But I do remember, I think it was the United Kingdom. They had they had more homicides than, I believe, New York City, and it was all knives because they can't have guns.
Yeah, yep, they can't have guns. The UK has how we have a gun epidemic, they have a knife epidemic.
You can't get rid of knives. How am I
Well,
gonna
they'll
cut?
try.
How am I
They'll
gonna cut my
try.
zucchini? You can't get rid of my knives, dog. You can't do
They're
that.
gonna give you knives with no edge.
Ain't gonna work, man. I always tell people, you know what I'm saying? Because I believe in what you said too, man. It's not guns, bro. It's people. It's the people, bro. I will say guns might be the easiest way to kill somebody. I will say that. But if somebody wants to kill you, they are
They're
going
gonna
to
find a
kill
way.
you.
Right.
You use a
They'll
car,
try.
you can use a bomb, you can use a rock. I can use my hands. It don't matter. It does not matter, bro. If they want you, they're gonna try to get you.
Evil
The gun is
exists.
just the easiest. Huh?
Evil exists.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
But thanks for being on the show, Dart, man. Hey, it's nice seeing you.
Man.
Give
For
a quick
sure.
little shout out, your IG. Let everyone know your YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying?
My YouTube is Blackz Gunz. It's BLACKZ and then GUNZ. My Instagram's the same, just with an underscore in between. And my Snapchat's the same, and my Twitter is the same. All of it's Blackz Gunz with Z's on the end, no S's.
Y'all heard him, guys. Check out his channel, man. He got some good videos, man. He's doing his thing for real, man.
I appreciate you for having me on, brother.
No problem. See you guys next episode.
Oh, yeah.